Hello everyone, real quick intro here. This is the final episode of our Final Fantasy story, Memories of Midgar. I want to thank Xavier again for putting this incredible one-shot together. He put in so much time and hard work with the planning, homebrewing, creating spreadsheets, and commissioned artwork. We had so much fun playing it, and I hope you have had as much fun listening to it. Please tweet at him, send him a message, let him know how much you love it. Heck, mention him in an Apple podcast review. That would go a long way to getting the word out there about this Final Fantasy VII trilogy. Thank you again to all the artists for the use of their music. As always, their info can be found in the show notes. Check it out, go listen to more of their work, and support them. Also, we now have an official Respect the Crit Discord, a place where you can talk about the show, talk about other tabletop games, interact with other listeners, interact with me and the cast. Jamie might be there, Alex might be there, I'll definitely be there. Link to the Discord server is in the show notes of this episode and in our Twitter bio at Respect the Crit. You can join the Discord server from there. And hey, why not give us a follow while you're at it? So when you're done listening to this episode, come on by, check it out, and maybe start a discussion about this story. That's it, that's all. After this release, we'll be picking back up with our Star Wars story, Empire's Edge, and our fearless fringers, Elo and Bigax. So thank you very much, and enjoy. Hello and welcome to Respect the Crit. I'm your host and usually your game master, but not this time. My name's Ian Duncan, and today I'm going to be a player. I'm going to be playing Ruby Weapon. She is just a force to be reckoned with. But joining me in this cool video game universe is some really good friends of mine. Firstly, we have Jamie Lee-Bonés.
Hello, I'm Jamie, and today I will be playing Jewel Stone, the short, kick-buddy, spunky, little girl with an attitude.
Ratitude, it must be said.
Ratitude, yes.
And also, to fill out our trifecta of players, is Alex Herrera.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I am playing Artanis, the old retired cop, or in this case, Shinra security.
Shinra.
It's those damn Shinra.
And of course, returning to bring home this incredible trilogy is our good friend and gracious GM, Xavier Trudeau-Deschênes.
Hello! I'm back! Thanks for having me a third time. Thanks for letting me finish this.
We're glad to have you anytime.
Who feels like they have it in them to topple a corporate authoritarian regime tonight?
I think all three of us.
You bet.
You picked a hell of a day.
Yes, we are in a mood to enact some change. So let's just jump right in.
In the dark depths of Sector 3's junkyard, the blue luminescence of Mako seeping through the trash illuminates a group of 3 Wall Market adventurers who made their way to recover stolen materia from Shinra. You're currently almost in a cavern, and it's basically covering you right now, so you can hear the echo of the helicopters circling. It's hard to pinpoint how close they are. Before you stands a young, grizzled woman bearing an enormous claymore sword within which are inserted 2 glowing orbs of materia. And as she lifts her sword and waves it towards your faces, she says, "You brought them here?" And then we roll for initiative. And once again, Artanis, your cop reflexes kick in. You are at the ready. It is your turn.
This grizzled little girl is aggressive towards us?
She's very, very much about to be. She is drawing her sword. And why don't you roll, Artanis, perception roll? Because that's what I like to make you guys roll.
Oh man, I have really good perception, but it only got me a 13.
13 is going to be good enough for this, but as she grits her teeth and furrows her brows, you can see that the Mako glow in her eyes is growing brighter. You can even see that below her skin, in CG terms, you could call it subsurface scattering light. You can see basically the light behind the layer of skin kind of start to glow up.
Okay, Artanis is going to put a hand out. Whoa, come on now. We didn't bring no one here. This is a surprise to us too. And I'll have my other hand on Artanis has his other hand on his gun holster. Like, he's not gonna pull it out, but he has his hand on it.
Would you say this is what you would be doing this round? Basically, would you use an action to persuade her?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna spend my turn doing.
Let's go.
I'm not good at persuasion. Oh!
Well, look at that.
19.
Alright, so you say that in the moment, but Ruby, you also have time to act in this moment. Everything's happening at the same time. You also notice that the helicopters are circling you. You're stuck between them and this woman.
And she's got her like sword out and she's like ready to rock, huh?
Yeah, you have yet to know if the words of Artanis reached her heart.
Wow.
Her Mako-fueled heart.
Do I notice, when Artanis says this, do I notice any like reaction or hesitation or anything?
Yeah, you notice hesitation.
Then Ruby is going to like flip her hair over her shoulders. They're not with us. Whoever these people are, Shinra, whatever, they're not with us, okay? Listen. We got off on the wrong foot, I think. What's your name, sweetie? I'm Ruby. Ruby Weapon.
Again, because this is D&D, and every second counts in combat. Are you using your negotiation skills? Are you trying to diffuse the situation mechanically?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and use talk down on her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not talk down to her. It's talk her down from a hostile situation.
Yes.
Single creature within 15 feet that can hear your voice and must be able to understand you. That creature immediately stops fighting and reverts to an indifferent attitude regarding you and the situation in general. They have to make a wisdom saving throw, DC 13.
Excellent. Let's see how she reacts to that.
Wow.
Well,
Yo.
on this show, we respect the crit fails.
We respect the crit in both directions.
Yay!
Artanis' words started to basically lower her guard a little bit, and Ruby, you instantly seize the opportunity to basically reach out to her and basically say the exact words she needed to hear.
And those words are, I'm Ruby Weapon, they call me that because of the hair, and yes, the curtains match the drapes.
Can't help it. You'll see her lower her sword instantly, and she'll look at all of you and say, okay, fine, maybe, but they're here. You're gonna have to help me dispatch them.
Ruby looks to Artanis and to Jewel. We can't let them find the people down here. We can't let them find... I'm sorry, what was your name?
Deiana.
And we can't let them find Deiana. Artanis, how many helicopters do you think that is? Do you think we can take them?
Artanis looks up and just listens. It sounds like at least one. And he kind of has this like sly smile.
I can't tell you how many they are, but she looks back behind her. There's a few of these Shinra crates. She gestures at them with her head and says, help yourselves to anything. Just leave me a couple. And those are all materia orbs. Materia crates, basically.
Whoa.
So what I'll do is I'm gonna have you roll a d4, see how many usable orbs she still has in stock, and then we'll roll to see which ones you grab.
Got it.
2. All right. You're gonna find 2 materia orbs, and these orbs you will. I know I said there's a rule that you have to attune to the orbs and stuff like that, but these ones specifically, they have little labels.
Oh, can we say that they're like? What about this? Can we say they're like cracked a little bit somehow, so that they're like it's like seeping out, and that like that Mako is like distinguishable somehow?
I'm gonna say yes. Their magic is seeping. It's raw. It's kind of like, I don't know what kind of drug analogy I wanted to do, but it hits harder and faster. So basically, you can take whatever time you have right now to attune to all the materia you've gathered so far, and you can re-equip everything you have in your inventory for this upcoming battle, so you can do some inventory management for the audio for the fans. But yeah, someone roll me a d8 twice, please.
I'll do one, and then Jamie, do you want to do one?
Sure.
Oh yeah,
That's good.
8 and 6. Let's see what these are. So you pick up in these crates an orb of ice materia, a yellow orb that contains the sense materia, which is an orb that will allow you to discover your enemy's weaknesses, weak hit points remaining, and name, stuff like that.
Whoa.
That's cool.
You also analyzed the orb that you picked up last time with the big dogs. It was a poison. It was an orb of poison materia.
What about the one Ruby stole?
Oh yeah, the summon materia.
I would say she still doesn't know you have it in this instant. Would you let her know that you stole it? She hasn't noticed yet.
I think Ruby right now, like, still a little bit wary of like what this person is and what their abilities are. And the thing about an addict is it's hard to trust them when they're around that kind of stuff. So I think Ruby is like, actually, I think what Ruby is going to do is go over to Jewel and say, "This is the thing you were looking for, yeah?" And just like sort of like flash the bracelet, the thing that'll help your cousin.
Yeah.
Okay, shh, keep it down.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Why are we whispering?
Ruby just like kink, like clicks it onto Jewel and just like slides it up her arm and says, "Just hang on to this one, okay? Real powerful, and whenever the time is right, you'll know what to do."
Okay.
Atta girl.
And as you two are having this conversation, Ruby, you peek over your shoulder to see if Deiana notices you, and she is hyper focused on preparing for this battle. She basically like sharpens her blade quickly. She makes sure that the materia in it are well installed, and she is not at all looking in your direction, and she has not noticed at all that her bracelet is missing. I have rolled a 1 for her perception.
Oh no, another. She's got those Mako eyes.
Yeah, they're getting in the way. Jewel, you basically commune with this red orb now that it's attached to your arm. It is the Kirin summon materia, which is not in Final Fantasy VII. For the astute listeners, it's from Final Fantasy VI.
Well, I was gonna say, why does that sound so familiar?
I'll do a quick breakdown of how summoning works. That doesn't have to be in the episode, but basically, you do an initial like action to cast the summon. Summon's gonna show up like in the remake. If you spend an action every round to control it, you can do special abilities with it. You can cast a spell that it can cast. If you don't use your action to control it, it's going to attack on its own. It's just going to do a normal attack. So you don't have to use your action every round. But every round you maintain the spell, it'll cost you 8 MP every round. Now, it requires concentration. Every time you take damage, you're going to have to roll concentration for it.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose to end it early, and when you dismiss it or you run out of MP, it'll cast its ultimate attack before disappearing. If you lose your concentration, it just vanishes and will not cast its final ability.
Dope.
Then when it leaves, it will cast regen in an AoE as it leaves. It has its own AC and HP. It can be attacked. Oh, any healing spell that is cast within 10 feet of it is increased in potency by 1d6. Yeah, and it can give some horns attacks, which is cool. Okay.
This thing is ridiculous. This is powerful. Yeah, I thought it was a unicorn.
It's like a dragon horse, basically. It's got like the white fur and scales, and then it's got these like golden antlers. So you have elemental, ice, poison, and sense that you can equip. You can reshuffle stuff. Artanis, your pistol has linked slots, so you can add elemental property.
I think I should take sense because that kind of makes me like the utility player too. So I have block and sense.
And it kind of makes sense for your backstory too, I think.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Makes sense to have sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I took it. It's mine now. Bye. I'll say Artanis looks at these. Looks at his, like he's looking at the pistol. He kind of moves it around front to back or from side to side while it's in his hand, and he goes, "Well, I'll just take what I need." And he'll put the sense materia on his iron bangle and keep the block in the gun. And he goes, "Pretty standard issue." And he holsters it, and then he kind of motions to the box. "Go ahead, have at it."
Probably, I've got wind. I could maybe take the poison one. That might be best suited for me. Yeah, I'll take the bio.
Okay. So after managing the newfound materia and your existing gear, Ruby, your final loadout is the wind, poison, and restore materias. Jewel, you have the deadly dodge and ice materia. And Artanis, you have the block and sense materia currently. Oh, I'm going to add to that Jewel, you do have a new bracelet with the Kirin materia attached to it in secret. Deiana moves towards the entrance of the tent and just violently pulls the flap open, and the noise gets even louder now, and she basically prudently starts walking towards the exit of this cavern, of this chasm. And you can kind of see the Mako at the bottom of the crevasse that's kind of just like sitting there in a shallow pool. You can kind of see the fumes just ever so discreetly get attracted towards her body and kind of just dissipates upon contact. What is everyone's passive perception?
12!
I'm 15.
14.
12, 15, and 14. Perfect. Okay, so I picture you for now walk in this single file because there's two paths basically on each side of this chasm, and you follow the left side one because it's the one you came from. And as you walk, Artanis and Ruby, you can hear from a distance, but approaching extremely fast, the pitter-patter of small and rapid feet running across the ground. And from the shadows, from the darkness, you see three, again, dog-sized figures leap out of the shadows, and Jewel, you have no time to see it coming. One of those shadows pounces on you and attacks you, and Artanis, you recognize those three dogs immediately. They are the bread and butter Shinra dogs, Shinra guard dogs. They are the vanguard of Shinra patrols. They have found you, they have found your scent, and right now they are trying to immobilize Jewel by pouncing on her and biting her down.
Can I use my reaction of deadly dodge?
I'm gonna say yes, despite it being a surprise attack. I'm gonna say... Wait, can you read me the description of the
Sure,
thing I created?
before, yes. It says reaction dodge. Before an attack is rolled against you, you can use your reaction to add +2 to your AC against this attack. If the attack misses, the next weapon attack you make hits every enemy adjacent to you.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna give it to you. So you take your reaction. That's gonna give you a total of, 19 AC. So good luck, guard dogs. That would not hit you. You can hear the sound of the jaw snapping and the teeth hitting each other as this thing just tried to bite through your whole arm, not to avail, as you nimbly avoid the attack, land on your feet, and are in turn ready to pounce. Artanis, it's game time.
It's game time, yeah. So I see Artanis sees the dogs and he's like, well, hail. And then he's gonna pull out the gun, and he's gonna flourish. He's gonna spin the barrel so it's clicking, and as it's clicking, he aims at the one that's nearest Jewel, and I'm going to do my regular fire rifle. Yeah, auto loader pistol. That's 10.
It does not hit. Your shot goes wide. You try to avoid shooting at Jewel as much as possible, but in the chaos of the moment, you can hear the ricochet echo in the distant empty pipes.
All right, so he'll just say, "Damn," and he'll look to Ruby and say, "Watch the girl."
Artanis, why don't you roll a d6 for me, please?
3.
The dogs bark as they, you can assume, try to alert their masters. And as they do, they keep trying to pin you down. And they circle you, try to get some distance before leaping back on top of you. This time one goes for Ruby. 16. Does 16 hit your AC?
Oh, yeah, do.
Artanis is going to see this and use Harm's Way. I'm going to say that we were pretty close to each other, yes? Almost adjacent, perhaps?
Yes.
Use my reaction to redirect the attack to me instead.
And if it fails completely, right?
Yes. It also misses my ally if it fails.
Your AC is 17. The attack will fail.
Yes.
So you basically kick this dog's neck in its arc, at the peak of its arc, as it tries to leap upon Ruby, and you just basically deflect the dog.
I would like to say for the audience, I would never kick a dog. Ever.
They're monster dogs.
These are
They got
fascist dogs.
Artanis, I would say would never kick a dog, but this is a monster dog with a heightened intelligence and aggression. Its purpose is to destroy my friends and other innocents, so yes, he kicked it.
I'm sorry, I imposed you that Artanis kicked the dog. I was out of line.
These are the Final Fantasy VII dogs. These motherfuckers are not dogs. These are hybrid man dogs.
They're basically panthers.
They do make that like really that high pitched like hurt dog noise though.
Oh, I was just going to say that. Yeah, definitely makes that sound.
Yeah.
Oh no! Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Ruby, now that Artie came to your rescue, you have a clear shot at any of those guard dogs.
I assume that when Artanis is saying watch the girl, he's talking about Jewel. So I'm gonna like whip out my 2 fans and start spinning them. Obviously one of them says yes and the other one says queen. And start like swirling them around to create like a tornado basically, and then send out a column of wind at the guard dog closest to Jewel, the one that like tried to jump out, surprise attack her.
It's gotta be with glitter though, like glitter tornado, glitter wind.
Hell yes, obviously, yeah, totally. It's like red glitter.
Yeah.
It's like coming up.
Just sparkles everywhere.
My hair, it's coming up. Yeah.
It rolled a 17, so it will save. So this gust of glittery wind hits the dog like dead on the flank. It braces itself though and manages to stay grounded and seems to shake it off a little bit, but it will still take 5 points of damage.
And will be covered in glitter for like weeks.
Yeah. And that stuff doesn't come out. Trust me. That's from like 2 shows ago.
Excuse me, Ruby, can you do me a favor and roll a d6, please? I forgot to have you do it.
I sure can.
Good number, 6.
Number of the beast.
The third dog, the one that still just watches his friends do all the work, is gonna try and come at Artanis from the back. From your blind spot. It just leaps at you. And that is 17. That will hit, sir.
That hits me, yeah, right on the money.
Ooh.
Please roll a strength saving throw for me, please.
It's gonna put me on the ground.
No.
Your modifier is 2.
Doesn't matter because that's a 1.
It puts all of its weight on your upper body, on your shoulders, and you lose your balance. You trip over some rubble, and you fall with this creature on top of you, and it's keeping you down, prone on the ground. And you take 3 damage from its claws. But then as soon as it's down on you, it tries to pin you down with its nasty fangs and goes for a bite attack, but it failed. So you're good.
Oh, thank God. Whew.
Just see what Deanne's kit is. So she will trace an arc with both her hands firmly on the hilt of that sword. And she will glance at her right forearm and kind of yell, "What the hell?" But that won't stop her. She will keep swinging at the dog that's on top of Artanis, and she will do a wide arc with that sword and try to just basically baseball it off of him. So 9 damage to the guard dog, and she kind of quizzically looks at all of you and then back at her forearm and shakes her head no, like keep your head in the game, focus. And she stares back at the other dogs around her. Jewel.
Okay, so I know that we don't have a map, but I'm wondering if there is a way, based on where all of these dogs are, because my deadly dodge, because they missed that attack on me, I hit every creature adjacent to me.
I'm gonna say, roll a d4, and if you get it, like, you'll get the number on the dice of how many creatures you can get to. 3 and 4 mean 3, then 1 and 2 mean 1 and 2.
Perfect.
Oh, that's a 4. You hit all of them. You managed to tumble your way right in the middle of all of them.
And I picture Jewel as doing a sort of pinwheel motion with her legs as she's kicking all of these dogs right in the face. Here we go. So I'm going to kick, and then I'm going to use a key point to do Flurry of Blows.
Ooh. I'm going to say that your first attack hits all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Your other 2, you just like lean in like one of your choice. Just the first attack does the deadly dodge effect.
Okay.
But yeah, you can describe however... Well, I guess you already have, right?
Yes, she's definitely going to get up on one leg and pinwheel around to kick all of these dogs, and then really lays into the one that was attacking Artanis.
Great, well, give me some damage.
I rolled my damage for the kick beforehand and rolled a 1, unfortunately.
So it's still 4 total, your first one. So it did 4 to all of them.
Okay.
So you swoop across the battlefield and you hit all of them on the kisser, on their wet little noses. They bark. They bark the soft bark.
Get out of here, Cujo.
And then your feet crash into the body of the one that was attacking Artanis, and this one ragdolls down the chasm into the Mako pool and stops moving.
Oh,
it is not a threat anymore. Unless it comes back as a Mako zombie.
No.
It won't.
You just kicked red 7, 8, and 9.
And we're back at the panther that attacked Ruby, and it will try again to go for Ruby, get some of that Ruby.
Everyone wants a taste.
That will be a hit. Yeah, I don't think Artanis is in any position. You're on the ground. You can't really do your thing. So it will bite you for 5 damage points. And I will add to your limit break threshold. I did it for you, RT, too, don't worry. As you fight, the ground begins to shake. Not only the ground, but every loose piece of garbage that's on those walls, on the sides of that cavern, everything starts to hum and vibrate. And this hum gets louder, and it almost drowns out those helicopter sounds. Not because it's louder, but because you feel it in your bones. The vibration of it is physical almost. And all of you roll a reflex saving throw for me, please.
Oh, 15, bro.
Oh! Don't make me fall into the Mako. I might be an underplayed bitch, but this dress is a top plate bitch, alright?
I was like, what's he talking about plates? I'm like, oh yeah.
It's not a drag queen thing, it's a Final Fantasy VII thing.
It's a Final Fantasy thing, yeah. It's a Final Fantasy VII thing, specifically.
A pulsing, red-hot beam of focused plasma cuts through the concrete and steel plates above your heads and breaks the darkness in half. It glows so bright you have to wince. And Ruby and Jewel, you can't dodge in time. You get seared by that beam. It probably won't kill you, but it definitely will mess that dress.
Damn it! Damn it!
Artie, once again, that cop training serves you well. You will all take 24 points of damage.
Oh,
Except Artie, you take 12 because you dodged.
my
Ruby's down.
gosh. I have 1 hit point left.
Y'all, I've got 2 Phoenix Downs on my persons, on my bodies.
The severed plates fall and crash down all around you. And it reveals not the sky above, but the upper plate above. And you see the artificial sun again. As this 8-legged mechanical monstrosity plows its way, and with 4 of its front legs tears a way open to reach and climb down to meet you all. At the center of its mass is a small reactor from which came the hot pulsing plasma beam, which it also uses to hover a little bit and kind of like do little hover jumps from one point to another. And you can just see its 8 legs just tearing and clawing and moving debris. This thing was made to dig through trash and eliminate any potential threat.
Oh my goodness, my dress.
I know.
Probably my hair too. Oh god, this wig is expensive, alright? To quote Dolly Parton, it takes a lot of money to look this cheap.
Artie, it's your turn. You're still prone, but the inner rage of an ex-cop is burning in your veins.
Artanis, like he escaped the laser beam, so he's kind of looking around like, and he looks, and he sees Ruby on the ground. He sees Jewel burnt, charred, almost like barely standing up, and he looks at the spider bot. Where is it exactly? Is it like above us?
It's still above you. It's climbing its way down.
Artanis takes out a little box from his coat pocket, and it's like there's a button, a little clicker, and he just clicks it open. There's like these 4 little bullets with like almost like slip through a strap that's holding them with tension. And he pops one of them out, opens the gun, puts the bullet in the gun, chambers it so that's the bullet that's going to be used next. Kisses the gun and aims at the boss.
I want you to yell the name of your limit break.
Load the bullet, aims the gun all in a quick succession. Special reserve! And fires one off, and it's this bullet that is, I want to say, infused with Mako energy. It's been injected into the actual steel so that when it's rocketed out, there's this green streak that it leaves behind. that like shoots out, like almost like a tracer bullet, except it is not just light effect, it is extra damage as it pierces through this monstrosity. Oh, 15.
To that, you add your physical damage modifier, which is 3, so total of 18, sir. Basically, you see where the bullet hits that, let's call it that spider, that metal spider. The bullet just pierces through like a series of seemingly important parts, and you can like, just in the fraction of a second where all those bullet holes are lined up, you can see the light shine through it, like do a tiny god ray, like wee god ray, and then it starts moving again, and that light disappears, and your gun is hot to the touch but still functional.
Artanis will blow on it, like blow on it, and then look at Ruby, and if I can, I'll try and move towards Ruby.
Roll a d6 for me, please.
5.
With the adrenaline, it's easy to forget about how pungent and dry and spicy the air is in this Mako junkyard, but it comes back to you, and you kind of realize where you're standing, and you're basically sending in fumes of Mako through this fight. Which again seem to be diverted towards Deiana. So there's a dog.
Yeah, I was
There's
gonna
a
say
dog.
there's still some dogs, right?
Still some dogs.
Monster
This
dogs. They're
one
monster
will
dogs.
leap at Jewel. Bark, 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 bark.
Oh no, my one hit point.
Yeah, that is 15. That will miss. You can use your reaction at any time you want to just do your limit break before your turn also.
Oh. Well, Jewel is going to take a stance, almost rigidly, sort of like aligning herself. Glistening blow! And she does 3 different hand gestures to activate her boots and her fingerless gloves, and now these spikes poke out of both. So she's got like
Brass knuckles?
yeah, they're like spiky brass knuckles.
Australian punch gloves.
Australian punch gloves, yes. And her boots as well. I thought about this a lot, you guys. And she is going to lift her leg high up in the air and bring it crashing down to the ground, which sort of creates this rumble line from her over to the target. Leaps into the air and then comes crashing down, laying her foot right into them.
Just to be clear, your target is one of those dogs
The
or
dog.
the big machine?
The dog.
Okay.
I wish that I had done the big machine, but let's get rid of the dog first.
I mean, clearing the trash sometimes is the thing to do. That's the strategy sometimes. Yeah. 17, it's going to be 17 plus 3. That's 20 damage on the dog. You pulverize this dog. It doesn't have time to do the sad bark. It will do so in the afterlife.
It makes a sad squish underneath her boot.
Sad squish.
It's even worse. You made it worse.
The guard dog is no more. There only is the one left, and the mechanical spider looming over all of you. Ruby, please roll a death saving throw for me, please.
Here we go. Oh no! Oh no!
No,
Gotta
Ruby.
respect the crit fails.
Oh, Ruby is looking so bad, y'all. Makeup smeared.
Can you do me a favor? Can you roll
Yeah.
a d6 too?
Oh no, is this the Mako
Poison.
poisoning me? 3.
Okay, that's great. It's fantastic.
I picture like Ruby just like on the ground in this horrible place. Like the dress has been like, it's like burned so that it's like cut up to her thigh, and like one of the straps is burned off, and her hair is just this like asymmetrical, like shortened, burned mess now, and just like.
Does Ruby wear a wig?
Yeah, Ruby wears a wig, but
That makes the carpet matching the drapes joke even better.
right. But she is a fucking professional, and that wig is on so tight it is never gonna fly
Okay,
off.
got you.
It's just gonna get shorter. Deiana takes the situation she looks at everything that just happened. She managed to dodge the thing as well. The thing. She managed to dodge that beam as well. Sees that Ruby's on the ground, and again, Deiana seems to hesitate. She looks at Artie and says, "Go to her, help her out," and looks back at the metal spider defiantly. Puts her sword in front of her face, lifts it. The only image I have in mind is Ludwig the Accursed from Bloodborne when he picks up the Moonlight Greatsword. And it does start to glow as she seems to activate the materia within. And she casts lightning on that dude. 10 damage. But in fact, that's 20 damage as the electricity arcs and courses through every moving part of that mechanical monstrosity, as it is weak to lightning. An astute Mako user with sense would have known that, but now it's evident. Jewel, now it's your real turn.
Alright, you guys. I kind of want to activate this Kieran, but then Deanna's going to know that we took it.
I think Ruby's life.
I'm doing it then.
Hell yeah. Because it ain't gonna matter if we all dead. She's gonna know anyway.
Let's do it. I'm going to activate, summon this Kieran materia.
As Jewel instinctively has this vision of this magnificent, white-scaled, emerald-maned horse with golden antlers. Kieran, as is the name that resonates in your head, you see these arcane markings start to appear from thin air, and through it comes this gigantic horse, celestial horse, and its radiance bathe you. You bathe in its radiance, and you can feel its divine glow hit your skin in this gentle warmth.
Kieran, please give Ruby life.
You feel this mental connection with this divine beast, and it can listen to your heart. You don't even have to tell it what to do, and it knows. It knows that it has to go and help Ruby. With this lengthy stride, it reaches Ruby really quickly and shields all of your bodies with its own massive body from any incoming attack from the spider. And it gently leans its golden antlers over Ruby's body, and a tiny drop of magic will just fall on Ruby's forehead. The wig regrows, the dress is recreated. That's not true. You're haggard, but alive. And you come back up with 1 HP.
Xavier's a good DM because he gave you something. He's like, actually, no.
Yeah, and Ruby looks up at this crazy horse, and she's just like, "You're giving me life." And then she grabs it by the muzzle, and she looks down, and she's like, "Be honest, how do I look?"
It shakes its head no. A dog comes in and tries to bite Ruby.
God damn it! How many of these dogs are still out here?
Just the one, and it's in bad shape.
It's got to be your perfume, Ruby. Do you have a pepperoni scented perfume, possibly?
Oh, how'd you know?
It's definitely my perfume, honey. It's WAP.
That will be a hit.
I am definitely doing harm's way by baseball sliding into second base, and I know it's jumping, so I'm gonna slide and leap up. So if it tries to tackle Ruby while she's getting up, it's gonna hit me instead.
As Artie saves you, Ruby, and now that you're back on your feet, thanks to Kieran, you feel the rage of the stage burning within you, and you still have your reaction. If you ever wanted to use it outside of your turn, you have your limit break available.
Oh, hell yeah. Ruby's pissed. Okay, I've got this dog by me. Can I move away from it, or am I gonna get an attack of opportunity?
I would say that you couldn't disengage and do your limit break. It kind of has to be on the spot if you want to use it now.
Because I want to use it. I mean, I want to use it on this machine. That's what I want to use it on. So I think I'm gonna hold off for now because the rage of the stage is gotta wait for the right moment. But you just hear Ruby say, "Somebody kill this fucking dog!"
The metallic spider pushes whatever was left of debris in its way, and it starts climbing down at full speed and meets you right in this tiny space. There's not that much room for all of you to be in there, and it just slams at Deiana with its front paws, and it just goes ham. Deiana will try to jump out of the way, and she does have like very impressive moves, kind of like tonally different from anything else in the game, kind of like jumping all around like it's nothing, like defying the laws of gravity as she fights, and you're all like look at each other going like, what the fuck? In midair, she will get slammed down by one of those legs. It seems to hurt, but she seems like she can take a bunch of those like, hard slams without even flinching. You do notice that in her expression, instead of pain, it seems to be like anger. Like she seems to kind of like start losing it. Jewel, I didn't make you roll a d6. Can you roll a d6 for me?
You betcha.
Okay. Starting to add up.
God, okay, low is what we need. We got a 6.
Rads. It's rads.
Artie, it is to you as the host of the show would say.
Okay, so the dog's still alive or is he dead?
It's still alive.
Shoot. Alright, well, my gun still has the smoke coming off of it. I can't use another special reserve bullet mechanically because I don't know how to limit break. And story-wise because...
Your gun's too hot.
Yeah, it's too hot. So I have to unload on the dog from where I am.
That will hit.
Oh, sorry, dog.
Ruby, as you're kind of in a defensive stance to avoid any of the attacks coming from that dog, your attention is split between the dog and the huge spider, and bark! The impact of the bullet just flings that dog away from you as it also tumbles its way down the crevasse, and the way is now clear for you.
Sickening. Artie totally just like blasts this dog right in the head, and he did this cool slide, and she gets up and like brushes herself off. She gives Artie just like a kiss on the cheek. She's like, "Thanks, hon. I've got some business to take care of with this fucking machine." And she like pulls a utility knife like off of his jacket or something that he's got. First she like cuts the hair that's all burnt off now. So she's like giving herself a real quick bob cut. And she like shakes it and brushes out. So now the hair is much shorter. And she's like, "I'm all one for a costume change, but this fucking dress was so expensive. And this was real hair, okay? You can't find this in Wall Market unless someone dies, okay?" And then she rips it off, and underneath the dress is like a sequined red bodysuit, and she stomps her way over to this machine, and she cries out, "Lip sync assassin!" And she starts doing a bunch of like voguing moves and duck walking around this machine really quickly, and the moves accelerate, and it begins to like swirl wind, and in the cyclone she like whips her fan out in a flourish and just like fans herself with it, and then fans very lightly over to the machine. It goes spinning up into the air and crashes down. As it does so, it takes a bunch of damage, and then she also mimes like cocking a shotgun and then just blasting it as it falls down on the ground.
Well, that's gonna be 15 minus 1 because of all the green materia you have. Your physical attack is a little lesser.
Great. That tracks. And then she says, "Don't come from Ruby Weapon, because I came here to fucking slay."
So you are starting to affect this this robotic creature. Oh, Artie, I didn't make you roll a d6. Can you do that for me?
Yes, I can. Oh my god, no!
You feel your body starting to get heavy. Your breath is short. You have COVID. No, kidding.
No!
Mock COVID. That's not good. That's not good. That's nothing.
Oh, but now you have to live. You have to live in it. We all have to live in it now.
It's real.
You have 1 level of exhaustion, sir. Hey, look at that. Ruby. It's now your turn.
Hell yeah. I think I'm gonna hit Jewel. Not hit Jewel. Heal Jewel. Yeah, because Artie's real down, but you might be able to take a hit.
I mean, if it's not that if it's a laser beam, no.
That's very true. That's very true.
But if it's a laser beam, then we're all in trouble.
I'm gonna heal Jewel, so Ruby's gonna reapply some lip gloss, some sparkly lip gloss, kiss her, blow a kiss to Jewel, and say, "Baby, you're looking like $1 million," and cast Cure on Jewel for 5 MP, 3d6 healing. Let's go.
8 is not bad.
That's not that good either.
It's not that good either.
Hey, it's better than 1.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll try and move back out of the way if I can. If there's any way for me to safely like move away from this thing.
I'll say yeah.
Okay, I'll try and like get back away.
So it's getting difficult because the ground's getting cracked up and there's debris everywhere. But you managed to make your way away from it after launching it into the air. You created some distance for yourself, but this place is getting cramped, and you can all hear a little better now those helicopter noises again. The humming seems to have slowed down a bit, but you can feel the troops' presence coming nearer and nearer.
Oh shit. Should we just try and like book it?
That's kind of what I was thinking, but then what happens to Deiana?
Just try and get her to come with us.
I don't
She's
think
not gonna
she'd
leave the
leave,
junkies.
yeah. So then we're basically leaving them all to be...
Oh, that reminds me. Do you need me to roll a d6?
Oh yes, please. Hey, Ruby,
Mm-hmm.
you're feeling the COVID too.
1 hit point, burned up dress, chopped up hair,
1 level of exhaustion.
Mako exhaustion,
And you're hungover.
and I'm hung over.
That's true.
Deanne, this party sucks. We're thinking of GTFOing. You in?
You 3 should get out of here. I'll hold them off. I'm good on my own. You 3 should go now. If you follow past my tent, there's a way out. It leads all the other way around the junkyard. Go now. As Deanne says that, it is her turn. And as soon as she finishes saying that, she jumps into the air and just slams down her... It's the first time she uses her sword, actually, but she slams it down and just tries to pierce through this thing's core. So Deanne does this brave little speech of, like, get out of here, I'll hold them off, and tries to swing for the thing, but her sword just bounces off of the thing's carapace. Okay, that's the end of her turn. Who is it? Oh yeah, Jewel!
Yes. What the fuck are we doing? Jewel's gonna look back at Artanis and Ruby and Deanne and yell back, "We should all get out of here. Who knows how many of them there could be?" And is gonna start to head, I guess, out. And sort of like ushering people to follow her eagerly. Like, come on, come on!
Oh, like all the people, all the like Mako addicts?
Everybody, we gotta get out of here.
Deanne shouts from across the chasm, "That won't work. They can't move out. They're stuck here. Most of them, they don't even know where they are. That's why I have to stay here and protect them. Go. This is my battle."
I mean...
Sounds like a done deal.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, I guess then I'm just gonna go.
Forgot about Kieran. Yeah, you can use your action to have Kieran do something, or let it do its thing, and it's just gonna attack the spider on its own. Either way, it's gonna cost you 8 MP if you sustain it.
Who is hurt the most? Because if I could get one more heal you... Alright, then let's heal Ruby up.
I mean, we're all suffering bad though.
Yeah, I know. Jewel is gonna look towards Kieran and just say, Kieran, please cure Ruby.
Kieran will give you a look that is 100% clear in your heart. It rears back on its hind legs and does a horse like rearing. Except its sound is otherworldly and divine in nature. Again, like the magic seems emanate from its golden antlers, and there's like your whatever remains of your clothes, Ruby, are like buffeted by a gust of gentle wind. This green emerald healing energy is going to swirl around you, and you can see some of your wounds close. Ruby, you are healed by 13 H points.
I feel like a young 22 again.
Young 22.
All this show is becoming is making fun of me saying stupid shit all the time.
No, I feel bad for everything I said. I did everything I set out.
Saying the best shit so that we can all call back to it.
Right?
It's callbacks, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I feel like I say a lot of stupid shit when we play the Star Wars game anyway.
It balances out. Do I need to roll a d6?
Yes. Ooh, 1 level of exhaustion. If I can say a thing, Artie, unless your dad decided, like, you're sure you're gonna leave right now anyway, there's a way for you to know if that battle is close to be over or not.
You know what? Artanis wants to see Ruby survive for sure, obviously, but he also feels like this little girl's life is now entrusted to him because he agreed to help her, and his priority isn't this strange woman. His priority are his friends, his companions. So if he were to do it, he would do it in secret and not tell the group what the actual situation looks like.
Okay. The thing is, I forgot. It's the spider's turn.
Yeah, it's not my turn.
But lucky for you, Spider will attack at the biggest threat once more, which is Deiana. Swing at her. Okay, so this huge claw will scrape at the walls and get stuck in some of the heavier parts. It won't even reach her, and she'll take that opportunity to move out of the way and rear her sword again. And you can see that Mako seep into her, and you'll notice some of her wounds start closing.
What? He's like a super mutant from Fallout.
Super mutant from Fallout.
They get healed from the radiation.
You can see the core, the reactor from the mechanical spider starts. It kind of shifts its weight as the thing walks, so that it's kind of like a gyroscope. It remains kind of constantly immobile in space, and now it kind of like does a 180. It just switches its angle, and let's roll a d6. And you hear this kind of like at the ready machine, like standby machine sound. It's kind of like, and it seems like the reactor is armed once more.
Oh fuck! Is it my turn?
Yeah, now it's your turn.
Yeah, Artanis is gonna he's gonna see Jewel moving still, and then he's gonna see Kieran doing the healing, and he's gonna I envision him like tapping his bangle, and then the sense materia activates and channels into that magic, and it's like almost like cat's eye, where his eyes gain that weird yellowish hue, and he's able to analyze the machine, and I want to sense it before I decide. Like, well, we're obviously leaving, but he wants to just know for himself what's going to happen in this fight.
So you subtly activate the sense materia, and you can. It's kind of the same thing where there are images in your mind. It's information that just appear within you, as if you had always known. And this thing's name is the Incinerator. It is weak to lightning, and its core is weak to ice, and it currently has 38 out of 90 hit points left.
There's no way I'm gonna kill it. And that was my action to use sense, right?
Yes.
Okay. Artanis is gonna close his eyes and blink away the magic, and he's gonna return to Deiana fighting this thing, the Incinerator. So he's gonna shout out, "Ruby, come on!" And then he's gonna look at Deiana and say, "Aim for the core, if you can." And then he's gonna run or move towards the position she told us to go to.
Deiana will nod and not move. She is set on staying here and defeating this machine, and she seems relieved that you've decided to leave. Ruby, it is to you.
Oh, God, I don't want to leave this girl, but I think Ruby would totally listen to Artanis, and yeah, if he said go, then she would go. She follows Jewel out towards whatever exit, and she just sort of like does a dramatic like stop right at the exit and like look back to see this girl like fighting this huge machine as this like Mako energy is like swirling all around her.
The last thing you see as you turn a corner past her tent is the incinerator rearing its reactor towards her, and it starts glowing brighter and brighter as the interior is spinning and spinning and spinning. You hear that hum again, and she is calling on her inner strength as like Mako gets swept in her like even faster at a faster rate, and she glows brighter as well. She arcs her sword and slams it down as it bursts into a magical flash of green light, as you can see like 3 rays get blasted out of that sword swing on the ground as the red fiery beam from the incinerator shoots at her, and as the 2 beams of energy are about to collide, you lose sight of them. You only hear the sound. You find this little narrow path that you have to almost crawl through. You definitely have to do the sidewalk, the loading shuffle from video games. As you still can hear the helicopters, now you can hear voices shouting, some commanding voices, some running. You're about 20 feet deep in this very narrow corridor that lets you escape, and after a while, you indeed make your way outside of the junkyard, unseen, but all the way across Sector 3, all the way across from the way you came.
Oh my God, that was intense. I think I'm sober.
Yeah. I feel like I should have been a little more inebriated for that one. I don't feel so great. And I'll look at his like boot, and he'll notice there's just like I want to say the bottom is like drenched in Mako, and he just looks at it and he's like, "Ugh, we got to find a way to clean this off."
I hand Artanis back his knife.
He takes it and looks at it. I hope it did you good.
Well, I've got a new look, but I don't feel great, though.
Yeah, we might need some rest for a while, but we should get going. And he'll look towards Sector 2, and I'll think, or at least he'll say out loud, maybe take a train.
I mean, I don't feel great about all of that. Leaving that girl and all those people, and Shinra's coming. What do you think they're gonna do?
Nothing good.
Let's get out of here. And then we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with that. And she like points to Jewel's bracelet, because we can't give that back.
Yeah, definitely not. You got a long sleeve shirt or a jacket or something?
No. How can Jewel hide this?
I like go over into a trash pile and pull out like a piece of fabric that's not totally gross, and I like flick it off, flick the garbage off, and I just sort of like wrap it around. Oh, you know what? It's probably like a cool bandana or something. And I wrap it around Jewel's arm and tie it tight, and it looks like a sweet accessory. And perfect. Couture. Looks great on you.
That'll definitely do, as she's sort of fidgeting with this bangle. That was super rough. I could use a milkshake.
Yeah, I could do with some grub. And I guess we'll walk to the Sector 2 door, I guess?
That's what I'm thinking too.
You'll notice that there is a smaller security checkpoint at the gate, so you might have to talk your way through. Yeah, if you're lucky, nothing. It won't be suspicious. You're just passing through. So it's safe to say that you lost your concentration on Kieran at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You can hope that Kieran helped Deiana a little bit, but we'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
Or will we? We won't. So you make your way to the Sector 3-2 gate, and sure enough, there is a security checkpoint for Shinra. They seem kind of relaxed despite the situation. They don't seem on high alert.
No, Artanis is going to look to the group. Let me handle this. I think I can get us through very easily. Just stay close and be quiet.
And this one guard just says, all right, I'm gonna need to see your IDs. I'm gonna need a brief description of what your dealings in Sector 3 were and what you're gonna be doing in Sector 2.
Artanis is going to pull rank and use thin blue line. Active and former law enforcement officers still recognize your authority and influence, and they defer to you if they are lower rank. So Artanis sees them. At ease, cadets. And he flashes the old badge that he has. I'm escorting these two back to Sector 6. I have the infamous Ruby here, and our new little friend, she's a little lost. Came all the way out here by accident. I'm looking to take her back home.
And he kind of looks all of you up and down and examines your get-ups, and you're all beaten up and dirty. And he looks back to you, Artie, and he says, "Sir, you're aware that's Shinra property, right? You're not allowed in there."
And he's gonna kind of look at him dead in the eyes. I'm aware.
He seems taken aback. Sir, he straightens up. It's not my place to ask any Shinra business to my superiors, of course.
Oh, that's quite all right. Thank you very much, Cadet. You have yourself a good day. And I'm gonna motion for Ruby and Jewel to move through, and as they're moving through, I'm like, hurry up. Give them a nod, a Shinra salute, and then casually walk past the gate.
As you shuffle away quickly, you can hear the other guard tell the other one, "Yo, was that Ruby?"
Ruby, as she's going by, pulls out 2 comp tickets from the bodysuit and just tucks it into to the officer's vest and gives a wink, pat on the cheek, and then saunters away. Barefoot with cut up hair.
And as you gave you did this without you did this the way you described it, but you noticed the tickets are singed and half of it's burned out, but you still give it away as if they were intact.
Totally, they're still smoking. There's ash.
Oh jeez.
And so the way to Sector 2's train station is free of obstacles. You actually have time on that train, while waiting for that train, to find your breath again. The nausea slowly dissipates. You find some aspirin in a vending machine. You sit on one of those save point benches, and eventually the train comes, and you make your way back. I assume in silence and kind of staring out through the windows of the train at the scene unfolding in Sector 3 as the train rolls away on its rails, and you kind of see the plumes of smoke coming in from the center of Sector 3. You can see red and blue flashes still from the middle as more troops swarm in, and the train slowly makes its way on the rails as if everything in Midgar was going perfectly, as it always does, as Jewel puts her hand on her wrapped forearm. Which brings us to Wall Market again. The train announcer from episode 1 speaks on the communications on the train. Says, "Wall Market, final destination, Wall Market. Thank you for using Shinra Train Company services. Please mind the gap and
don't forget your complimentary juice.
Oh, what flavor?
What is it? Dumb apple? What is it? The Benora apple. Benora white.
You don't get a choice of flavor. It's always the same flavor. So it's good as far as free juice goes, though. I mean, never turn. It's great mixer.
You make your way down the dirty, filthy streets of Wall Market. Home sweet home, right? This is the smell of motor oil and kebabs that you like so much. The noise of the music and yelling and fighting and barfing all mixed together. Through the crooked nooks of the Wall Market streets, you find your way to the almost hidden Honeybee Club. However, the establishment seems closed for the night as a small platoon of Shinra troops are blocking off the entrance to patrons trying to get in or trying to see why the place is closed. And waiting with arms crossed and giving instructions to those troops is this Turk woman. Elegant, slim, cocky. She notices you coming in and she smiles at you.
What is this? Why is there Shinra all over our club?
There were rats in the kitchen. It's a health measure. This place is filthy. Just need to clean it up a little bit before we can open it again.
Oh, that is bullshit. The only filth here is the filth between your whole fucking face, alright?
Oh, that's what Artanis like. Ho. Come on, Ruby. No need to lose our civility here. He'll look at the Turk. You still have her relative, yes? And he'll nod towards Jewel.
Yes, of course, I still have him. He's healthy. Do you have what I want?
We do. I'd like to see him.
She rolls her eyes and kind of gestures to one of the troops to, with her head, go get him. And there's a minute or two of just waiting in silence unless anyone wants to antagonize her more.
No, Artanis would not be doing it, and he'd make sure that Ruby wasn't even looking at him. Easy now.
She's just she's got her fan and she just whips it out and hard,
snapping.
Flutter. Yeah, snapping that fan.
And Jewel's just pacing back and forth, waiting.
She's very amused by this, and she has that tonfa baton, and she starts twirling it too, and kind of wanting one of you to make a false move. And eventually, the guard comes back with Julio, the honey boy that she left with, and Tommy, your cousin. And they're both doing okay, but they're handcuffed behind their backs. And Tommy looks delighted to see you. He's got teary eyes again. And Julio's actually weeping, seeing Ruby, seeing in what terrible, terrible state you are. And he's like, what did they do to you?
Jewel is going to take a few steps closer to Tommy and just say, Tommy, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I really hope you got the thing. Because then I won't be fine.
I just had a thought. I didn't want to interrupt. We could try and put maybe a broken materia or something on that bangle and be like, well, we found it, but it's all busted up. Whoopsie doodle.
I did grab one of the broken materia orbs when we found them getting all sucked dry.
Anyway, we can try and figure out how to do that organically while you're doing that, while you're talking with Tommy.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. I like that. I would absolutely allow you to do that for sure.
I don't want to separate Jewel from Kieran. They're friends.
We're biffles now. Okay, I think Jewel is gonna berate Tommy for a quick second and just say, well, dang it, Tommy, I wouldn't have had to go all over this frickin' place trying to get this stupid thing if you just minded your own business. and is very exasperated and is going to turn back around at Artanis and Ruby with, like, raised eyebrows, like, oh shit, what are we going to do about the thing that we were supposed to bring that we're not turning over?
Artanis looks at Jewel. Well, it seems like your cousin is alive. That's great. He'll look at Ruby, kind of like, I'm stuck, like shit, you know, like.
Ruby sort of like looks panicked around, and then you can see her like maybe an idea click in her head, and then her eyebrows go up, and a smile comes back to her face. Well, we did get what you were looking for. It doesn't come with the fancy jewelry anymore. That part got taken off, and I imagine it's because it got damaged. Jewel, why don't you show them the state of the materia that we found? The busted materia we found.
Oh, right. And Jewel is going to start to rummage through her fanny pack and pull out this broken materia and hand it over eagerly. Here's what we were able to find. Yeah, sorry that it was busted when we found it, so.
We ended up running into one of Shinra's projects. So, yeah, we got it, but that's all that's left.
Something called the incinerator. That's the state we found it in as we were running for our lives.
That's right, it just jumped in the fight and smashed the thing. That's Shinra engineering for you. I'll roll deception anytime you want me to.
No, not just yet. She puts her hands on her hips and puts her fingers on the bridge of her nose. She reaches for the broken orb, just like angrily snatches it out of Jewel's hand, examines it a bit, looks back at all of you, and says, "But that wasn't the whole package. I was also looking for equipment. Where's my bangle?"
Artanis looks to Jewel. Gives her a look like he raises his eyebrows.
If I recall correctly, I gave you a simple task, which was to retrieve my goods. My goods weren't just some empty, broken orb of materia. It was a whole package.
I mean, did you hear what he said? It didn't sound that simple.
She's thinking it through, and like you all did your thing, so I'm gonna have you roll for deception with advantage now. Whoever wants, I assume Ruby would want to do it.
I can do it, yeah. I have a pretty good deception.
Because you kind of like led the whole thing. That's where she's at in her head. Let's see if you've convinced her or not.
Okay, got it. Oh god, here we go. Oh my god.
Oh no!
Can you fucking believe it? It's 2 nat 1s.
Two nat ones. On this show, we like to disrespect Ian with double crit fails. I kind of don't have a choice here. The dice will not allow me to have a choice here.
You don't.
Mm-hmm.
So she says, "Well, no bangle, no tummy, no Julio. I am going to take them back with me at HQ, and this place is going to be shut down. Thank you, have a good day."
Artanis is gonna stop. Whoa, hold your horses. We have it. Alright, look. It's just that I convinced him to keep it because I'm not used to taking a job without pay, and, well, this one was my fault. Artanis is gonna put his hands up and stand directly in front of the Turk agent, to the point where he's blocking her line of sight from Jewel. He turns his head so that he's facing Jewel, but it's, like half his face is. And he's gonna say, "Jewel, honey, why don't you go ahead and give her bangle, but make sure to take extra special care that you don't scuff it up." And he's gonna wink.
Oh, I gotcha. And she's gonna turn around and take the materia out of the bangle. Give a huff. and then hand it over to Artanis with a lot of attitude.
I want you to roll a sleight of hand with advantage, because there's a lot of eyes peeping. 12. Let me roll a general perception for the whole Shinra platoon that's here and the Turk. Not gonna add modifiers to it. I just need to roll under 12. That's a 7. You swiftly and nimbly remove the Kirin orb from the bangle, and you don't hear a sound from anyone looking at all of you. And you hand the bangle over to the Turk. She takes it and fiddles with the empty, cracked materia orb that she has. Sighs, puts it back in the bangle, like closes the latches and the little knobs on it to secure it. She'll tug at her sleeve on her left arm to reveal the exact same bangle that also has a red orb on it, and look at the one in her hand and just say, it's a pity. And then she puts 2 fingers in her mouth and just whistles real loud and says, "Alright, boys, we're out of here. I don't want to have to come back to Walmarket in at least a month. I'm awaited somewhere else. Let's just get the hell out of here." And like roughly 2 Shinra guards will uncuff Tommy and Julio, kind of like just push them. Just bad dudes. They just push them towards you.
I catch Julio.
I let Tommy fall to the ground.
And the troops march off, and the Turk will like walk backwards. Like she'll leave as she's looking at you, twirling her tonfa, and she looks like she's like trying to remember all of your faces, the 3 of you. Until next we meet. And she takes off.
Yeah. Under his breath, Artanis is like, hopefully never.
A few weeks later, the artificial suns go off as the night lights are picking up. Wall Market is as busy as it ever is. People from the upper plates come down to visit, to gamble, to party. As per usual, all the kink rooms in the Honeybee Club are full, so the overflow goes into the main hall where the main act is going on. Ruby has a whole new getup, a whole new set of wigs, new dresses. Artie is at the bar, sitting with Jewel, watching the show. And as Ruby's final act of the night ends, Artie and Jewel, you see the doors open as, you know, the crowd comes in and out, and this small but gritty woman comes in with a big old trench coat and like a big warm hat on her to kind of hide her hair and everything. She seems to try to blend in the crowd, and she notices you and comes see you and says, "So I hear there's a place for me at the Honeybee Club, and Deiana is here, alive."
Artanis sees Deiana. He nods to the bartender, and he takes an empty shot glass that's like face down, and literally just grabs the bottle of alcohol without the consent. Like, he doesn't care what the bartender says. He's gonna pour a glass, puts the bottle back, and not slides the cup, but like places it in front of her, and just nods and says, "Well, of course, there's always place for the downtrodden here."
The camera zooms out from the Honeybee Club, out from Wall Market, up above from between the plates as we see the Shinra building lit up at the middle of this horrible fortress of metal and fumes. But from here we can see the moon. The full moon. It's a nice night to be in Midgar.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Respect the Crit, Memories of Midgar. Please consider supporting us by giving us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. It's easy, free, and really helps to let other people know about the show. And we'd love to read your feedback. For more information about the show, visit @RespectTheCrit on Twitter and Instagram. Artanis is played by Alex Herrera, who you can find on Twitter @AE Herrera or on his Twitch channel, WadeWolf10. Jewel is played by Jamie Lee-Bonés, who you can find on Instagram @JamieLee.Bones. Ruby Weapon is played by me, your host, Ian Duncan, and you can find me @idunks on Twitter and Instagram. Our guest GM for this game is Xavier Trudeau-Deschênes, who can be found @XavierTD. That's XAVIERTD. The original music in this episode is provided with license or permission by a variety of talented artists, whose information and credits can be found in the show notes. Please support them by visiting their platforms to check out more of their work, and tell them how much you love their music. And remember, whatever the system, whether it's a miss or a hit, you always gotta respect the crit. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the live stream.
I feel so professional now.
Mm-hmm. That goes away after the third time. Then it doesn't feel professional anymore.